Every year, companies spend billions of dollars on acquisitions that look perfect on paper. I'm talking great margins, strong brands, solid teams. And then, like 6 months later, poof, like the wheels just fall off. I mean, we can look at some of the biggest train wrecks in business history on this too. So back in the year 2000, AOL and Time Warner was the biggest media merger in history. And it collapsed because two entirely different worlds collided. There was a brash, fast-moving dot-com culture of AOL and the old-school corporate machine of Time Warner. And they never trusted each other. In 2013, you had Microsoft and Nokia. Microsoft thought they were buying innovation, but what they got was culture shock. Different values, different pace, and there was a talent exodus that gutted the very people they were counting on to lead the merger forward. In 1998, Daimler-Chrysler was billed as the merger of equals, and it was anything but. The German engineers looked down on American management, and Americans resented the rigidity. The entire partnership just dissolved into chaos. Clearly, these weren't bad products, but these were bad integrations. And the truth is, most mergers and acquisitions fail, not because of bad math or bad financials, it's because the teams never gel. So if you're buying a company and you're banking on that team to stay, to run ops, to keep customers, to preserve that institutional knowledge, you have to understand what happens next. Because look, when you acquire a business, you don't just merge spreadsheets. You also merge people. And the second that happens, every team involved, yours, theirs, everyone, they restart at ground zero. It doesn't matter how high performing they were before. The moment the ownership changes, the trust resets and you're back to stage one. So here's how this actually plays out in real life. Let's talk about it. All right, the first phase is called forming. This is the honeymoon phase where everyone's being polite. The sellers are trying to make a good first impression. The buyers are optimistic, maybe a little bit nervous, and everyone's telling themselves that this is gonna be great. But behind everyone's smiles, people are anxious and scared. Employees tend to wonder, am I still gonna have a job? Even people in leadership goes, who's in charge now? In the acquiring team, they're trying to learn a new market while pretending they've got it handled because that's what they're used to. And if you're not communicating constantly in this stage, uncertainty will grow like mold. Now, the second stage is called storming, and this is where cultures are going to clash. Your way of doing things meets their way of doing things, and well, it's going to get dramatic. This is also the most dangerous phase for acquisitions because people are going to tend to test the boundaries. Those long-term employees, they're going to start to question the new authority. Processes are going to get challenged. You're going to start hearing people saying things like, well, that's not how we do it here, or they don't get us. Now, the crappy part is most leaders either fight it or they hide from it because they try to bulldoze with their own processes or they just kind of ignore that the tension exists entirely. Both of those are wrong because the conflict is not the problem. It's actually the pathway toward alignment. So your job as a leader during this phase is to create structure around the chaos. Get both sides in the same room, name the tension, and define what's sacred and what's flexible. And if you can manage that, you'll earn trust faster than any HR policy ever could. All right, the third phase is called norming. This is where things start to click. The teams start to understand how they work together, communication tends to start flowing, and the mission starts feeling like it's a shared mission. But here's the catch. You can't fake this. Norming only happens when people see consistency, when they see the leadership does what it says it will do, that the systems are fair and that the new culture isn't just talk. And now this last phase is what everyone works for, performing. This is where the dream actually happens. This is where both the legacy and acquiring teams start to move like one company. They have the same goals, they have the same standards, and they share accountability. Now, this is what every deal is supposed to become. But if you don't intentionally lead through the first three stages, you're never going to get there. So if you're integrating a newly acquired company, here's your playbook. First, over communicate everything because that silence tends to breed rumors. Make sure you share the why behind every decision, even the small ones. This is such a big deal. 2, protect institutional knowledge. Before you touch systems or org charts, document what the legacy team knows. They hold the keys to customer relationships, processes, and culture. 3, create shared wins early. Pick a few achievable goals that both sides can rally around, and those quick wins start to build momentum. 4, create clarity quickly. Who reports to whom? What's changing? What's staying? That clarity is going to kill so much confusion. 5, honor the old culture while building the new. Don't just walk in like you're trying to save the day. Integrate. Don't overwrite. Look, you can buy revenue, you can buy assets, you can buy customer list, but you can't buy trust. You have to build it, one conversation, one conflict, one shared win at a time. So if you just acquired a company and the integration feels messy, that can be really good. It's not necessarily dysfunction. That's just part of the development. Just be sure to lead them through it, because the difference between a failed acquisition and a legacy one isn't really the deal sheet. It's how you lead the people who come with it.